All right, we're gonna try again, take two. This is the live martial arts class for bow staff, beginner, white belt lesson. You're gonna start with this basic warm up. We're gonna do white belt and yellow belt style. You don't need a belt when you do any martial arts, but it's a good way to measure your progress, measure what you need to learn still. You've already mastered the basics, you mastered the basics. Just warming up with this simple turning motion. Good. There really is. All day we've been spotty down here. There's a big storm brewing off the coast. They say we're gonna have a tropical storm system, something or another. Being from Ohio, I don't know what any of that means, except it's been raining and cloudy and gray all day. Just twisting, but I'll take it because that only lasts for about a day or two down here. Twist one way and then the other way. Thank you. It's good to see you. So you're just going up. That's what I love about this thing. We're a global martial arts community. We all have a passion for these things. And what bonds us together is that passion, that desire to learn self-mastery, learn some basic street fight self-defense using a weapon. I was thinking about this a lot lately. You know, there's knife self-defense. There's all kinds of things that I've learned over the past, how to remove the knife, take the knife away. You're gonna get cut. You're gonna get cut, and getting cut sometimes is worse than getting shot because they can lacerate and cut everything. But if you have a big stick in your hand, you have this distance. This is a big, you know, you're walking down the street and you create some distance between you and the person wielding the knife. Street fight self-defense. It's a force multiplier. You don't have to learn how to take away the knife and, you know, I mean, that stuff is so intricate anyway, and most of it doesn't work. You have a big stick here, straight in, knock it out of their hand, and then you keep moving. Yeah, and it's longer. It's about reach, right? They might get in close, but you should try to hit them as fast and as hard as you can. Commit to every strike before that even happens. Starts with situational awareness. Pay attention to what's happening. Don't let them close the distance. Put that stick between you and them, and then go all in. Today, we're working on these strikes with the palms both facing out. One foot in the front, to the face, to the other side. Hard and fast, like you're trying to punch through their soul for self-defense. And that's all martial arts is you know, basic techniques. And the fancier they get, sometimes the more hard they are to make them work in a practical setting, like a street fight self-defense. Street fight self-defense, you want a big stick, you just strike them with it. All right, so this is the warm-up move. Get back on focus here, back on track. Going out one side. This is 6 feet tall, which is 72 inches. If you know how to do the conversion, put that in the chat or in the comment section below. How long is 6 feet in metric measurement? 72 inches. So it's about as tall as I am. I have a real squishy floor here because I bought cheap mats, which is a mistake, but they're mine. Now I got to work with them. And so I sink a little bit. So the staff is now a little taller because I should be about a little over 6 feet. Not by much anymore, but a little bit over. All right, from here, go into an overhand 2 meters. Thank you. Overhand butterfly spin. Now you asked me last time what's the difference between this butterfly spin and the other butterfly spin. This is overhand butterfly spin. You can also just do the butterfly spin. See, there it is. Below. This is a different style. See how my hands come together here? My wrists never part. Gotta let it go past that. Thumb to thumb, down. This is one you see a lot of the Kung Fu guys do, or a lot of the guys who do tournament stuff. And they usually will separate their hands and get it going really fast, like this. But it's a lot less control. It's not wrong, it's just different. A lot of things in martial arts are just different. Yeah, staff is such a versatile weapon, right? I'm doing some yard work for my in-laws coming up. I'm gonna paint their house, and I'm gonna be doing some digging. I'm gonna dig out some stuff, and I'm so excited because that's how I got started. I got started with tools when I was a kid. Painter's pole, sander's pole, rake, shovel. So all ways to defend yourself. All right, so this is that overhead or overhand butterfly spin. It's my right hand. It's on top. My left hand's on the bottom. The palm comes up to the back of the hand. My wrists are touching. The left hand takes it, turns it all the way. This is where you started. All the way to here. Then the right hand turns, slides down, grabs it again. And this, keeping your arms touching the whole time, will allow you to keep contact with your staff the entire time you're spinning, which is different than turning and removing, which is not wrong, but again, for self-defense, if I need to fight, if I need to move into a different position and go through and add some kind of a spinning motion, I want my hands to be on the staff as much as possible. Because if I hit that and it drops, and now I'm back to where I started, before where I started. No, nothing on my hand, he's got a knife, I'm in trouble. If I can learn how to move my hands along my staff without ever losing contact with it, then I have much better control. I want you to have much better control. All right, so we did this going one way, bring that to a stop, just take it back the other way. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on these basic spins. Just doing one-handed spin, two-handed spins. Yeah, 360, just going all the way around. If that's what you're asking. If you're asking, does it go all the way around? Your wrist can't, right? Which is why you've got to get that other hand in there to assist on the spin. All right, it's good to see you. Now, going into the left hand. I'm going to start with the left hand because my right shoulder's a little tender. I'm turning into this butterfly spin, also known as it's got a lot of names now, right? This is the, not the butterfly, the infinity spin. I'm carving a sideways figure 8, which is also the infinity sign. So the infinity sign goes down here, turns and it comes back. 1, 2. I'd love to. I watch those guys. I haven't done it yet. The guys who do the spin the fire sticks, the fire staffs. It's really big in Europe, especially in France. Those guys are amazing. And it reminds me when I go to Hawaii, there are a lot of places you can see fire dancers, and they use those fire sticks, and they spin, and they are wicked fast. It's real quick. And that has a lot in common with the martial arts staff, but it also has a lot in common with the baton, like a baton twirler. You want to see somebody who's one of the best people I've ever seen spinning sword staff, lightsabers, whatever. It's that Michelle Krista Smith, and she was a baton twirler. Was a baton twirler first, and that's how she got into this. I think I don't want to speak for her, but she's a stunt woman, and now she has a lot of martial arts skill. She's really good with the martial arts stuff she does, and yeah, she's really good. But it's a completely different thing. It's shorter, it's lighter. She's going over her back. She's going from one hand to the next. And again, it's not bad, it's not good, it's simply different. Yeah, I think she, she as a stunt woman, I think her story was Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey in Star Wars, sent her some message or mentioned her in a magazine comment or something, that when Daisy Ridley wants to get better at moving her lightsaber around, she watches this Michelle Krista Smith. She's up in Vancouver, Canada. What I'm doing here is just that figure 8 forward. And now she's doing these live streams too. And I remember before the Krista Smith thing, we were pretty close in subscriber count. And I'm not, I think I'm good for her. I don't ever envy somebody else or want what somebody else has. But she's got a lot of subscribers now, which makes sense, right? So you're going down, and she deserves it. I mean, she's an amazing stunt woman, and now martial artist, and the way she moves her staff, I learned from all the time. Some things I couldn't figure out. I watch her, and I'm like, oh, that's a whole different way to think about it. Yeah, she's really good at that. She does some double, I didn't think it was possible, a double Obie Annie. I didn't even think it was possible. I typed it in, and she's got a whole tutorial on it. I thought, oh, just because I didn't think I could do it doesn't mean someone else can't do it. That's the truth, right? That's why it's good to have a large number of instructors. Learn from everybody. Be open anyway. You don't have to learn from everybody, but be open. All right, so you're pulling and pulling. And this is just the opposite. We started here. I want you to know how to go forward in this forward sideways figure eight or infinity spin, and then to be able to reverse it and pull it back. And then the same thing. It's the same exact spin when I go forward. It's just in front and in the back of the body. And then reverse it. And where before you were carving that sideways figure eight with your thumb, that infinity sign, now you just pull it back the other way. I haven't seen that yet. I will look that up though. So pulling it up. It sounds good. It sounds interesting. There's so much. That's the truth about this stuff. And that's why I don't charge for any of my classes online. It's because it's all out there for free. And there's so much good stuff. Not really. I think it's hard to see. This is a rattan staff. That's why it's so flexible. And so it's not perfectly weighted. It's not perfectly balanced. So my hand is probably finding the center balance all the time while I'm spinning. But the camera might make one side look longer than the other one. But if you look from this distance, it should be as close to the center as you can get it. All right, so you're welcome. We're doing that reverse spin. Same thing on the other hand, forward first, and then reverse it, pulling, pulling, pulling. Just this way. Yeah, I'm absolutely. I'm not doing this for money, even if it were lucrative. And I figured this out many times over the last few years. I stopped doing this, tried to do something else, and just said, you know what? I'm only going to live a certain amount of time. This is what I love. I love working with other people. I love working with you. I'd rather do this, and it's not about the money, right? You're going to make money doing whatever as long as you work hard and you're disciplined and luck comes into it. The market's good. There's no woo hand. But outside of that, you can only spend so much. And if you've ever made a lot of money, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I want you to go now into a wrist roll. And this is a level 2. This is like a yellow belt thing. No, you certainly can't. And you can leave some to your kids, although you don't want to leave them too much, in my opinion, in my experience. Just enough that they can get a good education or make a decision. Yeah, thank you. And that's the other best thing about this. I'm along the same line. There was someone before me. There were a whole bunch of teachers that I learned from. They gave it to me, I'm giving it to somebody else. If I try to hold on to it or charge for it like a lot of people do, it's like trying to dam the river. You dam the little stream and it might get bigger and bigger and you're all excited because you have so much stuff, right? You got so much water and then you got all these fish in there. But you stop the water from flowing, everything dies and you see that. This one's really light. It's probably less than 2 pounds because it's rattan. Rattan is a grass, I think. It's kind of like bamboo. Yeah, I mean, if you try to stop and try to hold on to your knowledge, and that's what a lot of martial arts did for a long time. They existed in little silos or little isolated bubbles. And then the Gracies came out of Brazil in the 80s and 90s and whipped everybody and taught everybody a lesson. Oh, we need to keep learning from each other. We can't, I don't have one punch to kill everybody. My Wing Chun's not going to stop the boxer. My boxing's not the end. It's not everything. So what you have to do is you have to learn how to take some from everybody. Everybody's body's different. Some things, and what's exciting to you, what's interesting to you. There's no right way and no wrong way. You got to open up. All right, so this wrist roll, I'm going over the back of the hand. You see it just balances there. I turn it up, and then I turn this hand under to catch it softly and quickly, which is the opposite of, hard and fast, which is what happens. You just knock it out of the way. And I know that's happened because that used to happen to me all the time. See if I can stay in the screen. Oh, I'm going to show you a strengthener to help strengthen those hands and wrists too before we're done. Thank you. I haven't seen that. Is that a movie or is that a style of fighting? What was the movie with Brad Pitt? And he mumbles all the way through it, and he's supposed to be some bare knuckle boxer. The bare knuckle stuff, that's kind of interesting. But in the olden days, Clint Eastwood had a monkey with him, or orangutan or whatever it was, and he'd say left turn Clyde, and the guy punched his hand out, knocked the guy out, and it was about truckers, and he was an arm wrestler or a bare knuckle fighter or something. So that's been around forever, bare knuckle fighting. And the funny thing is, like I've got a variety of bags because it's my school, it's my studio. I want to train on the stuff I like to train on. I've had schools for over 30 years now. I know what I like. So I have the equipment. That one feels this big, that one feels like somebody's face. It's great, I love it. That one, it's canvas, it's super heavy. Yeah, Snatch. If you haven't seen that movie and you like movies like that, go watch Snatch. It's kind of a fun way. Yeah, they call that bare knuckle fighting. And it's just a really stupid way to destroy your hands and give yourself arthritis. And these knuckles will break off and detach. I've seen it. I've seen this knuckle. You see, I've had some damage and injury to this knuckle. It's bigger than all the other ones. And when I hit people, they feel it, right? You see that? And that's just from being a young kid, 18, 19, in the Marine Corps, lost my temper. I was on the phone with my girlfriend. She said something I didn't like. Bam! I punched the wall. Like every 19-year-old kid full of too much testosterone and anxiety and didn't know how to control his temper. And then, because I'm in the military, the doctor, I still remember, this was a Navy doctor, female doctor, she said, you do that again, I'm gonna write you up and you're gonna spend a few days in the brig, which they can do. Because you're government property. Control yourself, young man, she said. Thought I was getting scolded by my mom. But it stuck, and I've never done that since. Lost my temper, been angry, but I've learned how to deal with it. Thanks for letting me serve. That's what I like to say. People say thank you for your service. I've heard that a million times. That's great, I love that. But I like to say thank you for letting me serve because I really enjoyed it. All right, let's go into some strikes. Palms like this, like you're doing push-ups, right? Left foot forward, lock the back knee. Let me show you again. You're gonna bend the front knee and lock this back knee. It's gotta lock down. That's gonna drive your heel into the floor, and your knee in the front is gonna bend enough that you can't see. I was a military policeman, and I used to go down to Camp Pendleton and pick up guys who were stuck in that brig and take them back to our, it's a holding cell. The brig is kind of like penitentiary. There's prison and the pen. Right? Prison's when you get arrested in your town and you're waiting for the judge to sentence you, and then you get like 3 years. You're going to, you're not, this is the jail in your little town. You're going to the pen. You don't want to go to the pen. That's where all the bad stuff happens, right? That's where all the horrible, horrible, horrible stuff happens. So the brig's like that. But the difference in the military brig is they make you march every day. You're still in the military. Even though you've done horrible things and you're stuck in the pen for the military, you're still in the military. So they still cut your hair, they still feed you garbage food. But then you gotta march. And then they still, back then, I'm sure they're still doing it. Back then they still had a rock pile and they give you a sledgehammer and you break rocks and you turn it into gravel to make the roads. So I don't know what it's like because I was never in there. One of my best friends who wrestled for the Marine Corps, he was a brig guard in Pendleton, so we would talk every once in a while. But the dudes that I'd pick up, take them back and forth, they were different. When they came out of the brig, they were different from when they went in. So I don't know, other than that. All right, left foot forward, bend the knee, lock the back leg, start in this push-up position. You're gonna punch with the left hand, and that's gonna bring the staff up toward the eye, hard and fast. When you finish it, stop it here. From here, punch with the right. Left, right, left. I want you to do this for 30 seconds, over and over again. Stomach up and in, abs tight, harder and faster, because I want you to get a feel for fighting as fast as you can. A fight has to be fast. You can't slow down in a fight, but you have to calm down. That's where the breathing comes in. Then, the other foot. Oh, thank you. That was a fun project. We did that just to help teachers learn how to communicate with kids better in a very positive, reinforcing way. Punching to the knee. I still teach that program in the schools. down here, I did my first school right before the Overhand started, and I had a whole group of teachers. I didn't think I'd be doing it anymore, talking to teachers about how to talk to kids, but it still works. It's like saying, hey, you're paying attention, you're looking at me, she's sitting still. Man, you keep doing that, I feel so respected. Go back to your teacher, you look at her in the classroom, she's gonna feel respected too. Your grades are gonna go up. Common sense, right? What's the alternative? Friends, make a good choice. What should you be doing? Right? And that's what's happening instead. And all I'm saying is direct communication, me to you. Get out of my face. You don't have to like me, but you can't talk to me like that. Put your hands up and say, stay back. That's how I teach self-defense. If I'm working with kids in the classroom, he's looking at me. You're standing still. And then the kid who won't stop talking, Jimmy, stop talking while I'm talking. Now you're quiet. Now you're looking at me. Now you're paying attention. Then you give them immediate feedback, positive, and it reinforces it. And it breaks that horrible chain that they get stuck in. And then they get bad grades forever. And they grow up thinking that they're stupid, and they're not. Because they learned when they were in kindergarten, you just can't pay attention, can you? You can't sit still, can you? You just can't do this, can you? And it follows them. First grade, second grade, third grade. And all you had to do was say, Jimmy, stop talking while I'm talking. But instead you say, Jimmy, what do you think we should be doing? How do you think it makes me feel when you're talking while I'm And I'm not, I know it's funny, right? But yeah, it's the worst negative programming in the world. I had a friend, he's from an Asian country. And when I go to Asia, I have friends there who live there, and they teach English in high school. And they say they still smack the back of a kid's head if they don't pay attention. And my friend who's Asian, who has kids here, my kid's age, like 5, 6, he said, I almost wish they would just smack my kid and get it over with, because the emotional programming, that negative mental thing that destroys his confidence and self-esteem, will follow him the rest of his life. And that's the truth. It's, good martial arts are, I'm a dime a dozen, but most of them don't have YouTube channels. It's the ones that, you gotta watch for false coaches, right? The ones who, like my instructor, who's still in Ohio, he's great, brilliant, because you live this lifestyle of self-discipline, daily disciplines. It's like brushing your teeth every day. Brush your teeth, make your bed, comb your hair, make sure you smell nice, make sure there's no wrinkles in all your clothes. It's a daily discipline. And if you do that, you are rewarded with this structure of a life where these small benefits, cost benefits, you get these little benefits. And that's what creates the knowledge. And then you just do that long enough. And then you make lots and lots and lots of mistakes. And you smack yourself with your stick and you hit yourself in the head, and you learn from that. And that's how you do it. Yes, I'm old enough that when I was a kid, my mom and dad had to sign a little slip, a permission paper that I took to the principal that said, you can spank little Matt's bum if he doesn't pay attention in class. And they used to do that. You had to get a permission slip. Before that, they probably didn't need a permission slip. But when I was a kid, you still had that. My parents let me know, if you get spanked in school, when you get home, you're getting 10 times worse. And that's how we grew up. And then you reach a certain age, that all shifted. That all shifted in the 90s. And we get the millennials start to come to school, and they start trying, out of the right intention. They want everybody to be wonderful and pure. And they start saying, sweetheart, how does it tell us your emotions, how it makes you feel. And it's developmentally inappropriate. A little kid needs to know what he can do and can't do. When you say, if you talk while I'm talking, here's your consequence. And then you hold them accountable, they learn and they feel safe. When you're happy today and you're grumpy tomorrow, yeah, slapped in the face in school, yes. All right, you're right, Vic, let's get back to it. We're almost done. From here, both hands together, I want you to turn so that the left hand comes on the right shoulder, and the right hand's gonna come up into that armpit, and you're gonna block down. Bring that back up, bring it all the way around, right hand on the left shoulder, and then straight down. Hello, bring it through and down. It's good to see you. Down, down. I'm starting to see the same people over and over. I'm starting to get more of your videos that you're emailing to me, and I'm seeing your progress. And some of you have started the process of learning the curriculum in order to test up for a belt. And if you want to do that, just send me an email, info@quantumstrong.com. Now from here, when it comes down, turn your hip out so that you can clear. Bring it back through, turn the hip out. Bring it through, turn the hip out, and then a little faster and a little faster, a little harder and a little harder. And these are blocking motions with your hands in this position. Yes, from here, bring it to your shoulder, and instead of down, you're gonna bring it straight to the side. Now when it comes here, it's a horizontal strike. It's a crossing arm strike. So from here, it's the same as the block, but now I'm coming through. And when I do this one, I'm gonna turn my whole body into the strike. From here, into the strike. I can come toward you, forward, forward, I can come back with it. You can move very quickly once you've practiced it a lot, right? But it's just this, to the shoulder and down, the shoulder and down. When your hands are here, bring it into your chest and you push up, you're now doing a high block. From here, upper block, lower block, upper block. And here's the basic rule, anything from here up is an upper block. That means any punch coming straight at your face. It doesn't have to be a knife chop coming down to do a high block. From here, they're punching straight to your face. This just lifts up. As it comes in, lifts their hand up, exposing their ribs. So you would block up and then you could strike, breaking their ribs. Block up or strike them right in the face. Anything coming from here down, maybe they've got a knife, they're trying to stab you again, and you're pushing straight down, pushing them down and away, and it's also gonna push their body down a little bit, and then you have those lower strikes, or push it down and strike them to the face. But understand, high block, low block, this is a turning low block, and then from here, if you bring your left hand just above your left ear on the left side, and you better have practiced. By then it's too late. They've got a longer pole, you're done. I'm just joking. Not necessarily, right? I love to fight with the short staff, the Joe, more than I do with the bow. The bow is I do this the most because it's so good on my shoulder, but the Joe is just wicked. From here, bring it up. One of the instructors I had as a kid, he was a bit older than me, and he was on the U.S. national team a bunch of times in Taekwondo. His brother was on the Olympics, in '88. One of the best fighters I've ever met. Mean dude. And his brother, his name is Doug. Greg was about my height. And I mean, he was just so far better than me. You know, Taekwondo fighting. And that back then, Taekwondo fighting was different. Now it's like this front foot fencing stuff. Back then it was still a fight. Lots and lots of knockouts. Knocking people out with punches. But Doug, he came up to here on me. But I could barely touch him with my much longer legs because he had timing and distance. So if the guy has a longer pole than your pole, as long as you've practiced and you have better timing and distance, you're still gonna beat him. So from here, you have to know that this fist is above your face. If this fist is below your face and you come through here and they're trying to get you right here and you run into that, there's no power. You wanna block whatever they have, whether it's their hand or the weapon, with this part between your hands. So from here, bring it up, clear, and turn it. When you turn it, I want you to push pressure. Like you're trying to push your hands together, create some pressure so that when you block, it's got more dynamic power. Now that's like this position. This is more of the Kobudo style, Japanese style. And this is the high block, and that's a low block. And this clearing side to side, on the same side, and then in this opposite position. These are all powerful blocks. And we're gonna go over those in the second level, in the yellow belt level. Back to this position, just to recap, we have our punches to the face, punches to the knee or to the body. You can go straight in this way, up, middle, down, but just make sure when you strike, you're coming through the target, and don't make the mistake of stopping here and here. I'm hitting this guy over there, he's not over there, he's right here. So I've got to come through, and then I've got to the knee, and then we did the low blocks, turning the arms, the hands never come off. And then we did those horizontal strikes, side to side. We did a basic upper block, lower block, and then clearing, turning, clearing to the other side. Now, from here, I want you to push, and from here, just think about keeping this on the outside of the arm, but just think about spearing through the stomach. Now, the Japanese style, there are two ways they call it ski, which is, it's like T-S-U-K-I, which means spear or push through. Like the ski, the spearing motion, there are two ways. There's this way, which is my favorite. I think of a pool cue, like this, and there's down, and it's down this way, through this way, up this way, and then there's pushing with both hands. When your hands are in this position, think of just pushing straight and pushing straight the other way. So you can even practice going from one side to the other side, but only do it this soft way for about 3 or 4 times, and then push hard, and push hard, and push hard. Then get into a fighting position. Step through. See, I'm pulling back to get that length. And remember the basic rule of this stick, it's longer than his hand or longer than his knife or longer than even his short sword or machete. Use this length to strike. You can bring this straight down on top, this way. You can also bring it from here. See how my hand turns a little bit? My hand hasn't come off, that's the key. You can't do this motion by taking your hand off to do it. You'll want to, most of us want to because it feels like, oh, I need to do something here. But really, just come straight up. You need more practice. When the bow hits you as you're changing direction, that just means that you're getting good feedback. 2 things are happening. 1, you're taking action, so you're getting better no matter what. No matter how awkward and clumsy you feel, you are making improvement because you're taking action. That's 1,000 times more powerful than the guy who's trying to understand it before he does it because he doesn't want to get hit. Number 2, it just tells you where the stick is, space and time. Probably just need more practice. 1 hand, 2 hand. I love Silambam. Silambam, like, that's the next style that I hope to master the basics of. Basics. I say I'm a master of the basics, right? First degree black belt is mastery of the basics. I want to be a master of the basic level of Silambam because Silambam, there's the story. The guy who carried the staff through the mountains from India into China, his name was Dharma Buddha, Daimo, or all of the other names. And then he sat in a cave. He went to Shaolin Temple. He went all over the places first. And then he ends up at Shaolin Temple. He's teaching the monks. Everywhere he goes, he has a different way to teach them, and everybody's doing their Buddhism in a different way. And he's trying to say, no, this is the way. This is one way. Try this way. Try this way. And everybody's trying to show how pious they are. And he's trying to say, no. He came up with this idea of Zen Buddhism. Anyway, so he goes to Shaolin Temple and he sits in the mountain for 9 years. That's 9. 9 years. Sits in the mountain, meditates, doesn't move, doesn't eat, doesn't drink, doesn't go to the potty, just sits there breathing. 9 years. And they even stick a pin in his arm, make sure he's still there. They try to put the thing under the seat, see if he's still alive. Yeah, maybe he went there too. I know you guys are talking about something else. Anyway, after 9 years, he comes down the mountain to Shaolin Temple. He's going to give him his knowledge. He's become enlightened, even more so than he was before. He's walking down with his staff, right, down the mountain. And he sees the monks, the Shaolin monks. They're pitiful. They're weak, and their bodies are all flabby and fleshy because all they do is eat rice from the bag that they beg from. And they're skinny because the bad guys, the banditos, they're stealing their stuff. They're beating them up. They grab them with one hand, they hold them and smack them with the other one in that part of the world. And anyway, Daimo takes his staff and he's like, get over here. And he gets all the Shaolin monks around and he says, you need to learn how to defend yourself. Some of you will just sit and study books, but the rest of you need to learn some martial arts, starting with the staff, starting with Silambam and Kiripati from India. So my point is this martial arts stuff we're doing now, we have the Chinese style, and we're doing all of the Chinese styles, and then we have the Japanese style, right? Japanese and real strong, boom, and the Korean style. but it all came from India, and it came from the monks, and they brought it to China, and then it evolved, and it changed. But it's all the same thing, but that's why I love Sillenbaum. Anyway, Sillenbaum, much skinnier. This is about 1 inch in diameter, 1.25 inches. Sillenbaum is probably half that, and this is even heavier than the Sillenbaum. There's a local group I've heard about, but I haven't been able to find where they are. If you want to do a little Sillenbaum right now, put your hands together on the staff, go to one end, and you know what this is? This is that two-handed staff spin, two-handed infinity spin, but it's Tamil. So I don't know enough about Bangladesh and India to know the difference of where the Tamil region is. But I know Sillenbaum, Kirapati, all those come from the Tamil region. But this is the same thing with the other hand on it. See that? But when I put two hands on it, I create a pivot point that allows me to increase speed dramatically. So I can go fast here, but I get the other hand, and when I do a two-handed spin with this infinity spin, if I have my hands here, they're going to get stuck. So I'm going to roll my hands in this style, which is the alternating hand style where the hands face each other. Or if I want to keep my hands apart, like I'm doing push-ups. And this is the one that's more popular because of Ray Park, who played Darth Maul in the Star Wars movies. That's one of the moves that he did. And he would do this for a while, and then he would come, or he'd do his over the head spin, and then he'd bring it behind the back. Let's finish with that. I gotta get out of here. From here, behind the back, and out. This is like a bonus extra credit move. All I'm doing when I go behind my back is I'm doing the exact same thing I did when I warmed up, hand to hand. Yes, I will do that. From here, so I just bring it behind my back, I bring it out, my hand goes straight up over my head. See how it continues to turn, and then I take it just the same way when we were starting from the very beginning. That's how we started this whole workout. We started this, very second thing was hand to hand. Now if I'm behind my back, I bring it out, exact same move, behind the back. If you want to leave it up there and spin it, do the same overhand spin you did here, or any other spin in front of your body, just bring it up over your head. It's exact same spin, just done in a different plane. All right, yeah, I love grappling. My first martial art was judo. I wrestled in high school. I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu here and there with different people, but not formally as a student. And it's all because I don't want the cauliflower ear. And I know that seems like a really simple or silly thing, but I feel like I know enough grappling. I know how to sprawl. I know how to stop most takedowns. I'm not gonna beat BJ Penn, although I might, because I outweigh him probably by 180 pounds, but that's a joke. I'm not gonna beat the MMA guy who's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm not gonna fight that guy. You wanna learn, I wouldn't worry too much. You're not gonna find a lot of martial arts schools that do a lot with the staff. Some Kung Fu schools will. You'll find it in some Taekwondo schools and some Tang Soo Do schools, but that's just because all those Korean instructors go back far enough. They were all Japanese martial artists. They were students, they were Japanese. They were students of Japanese martial arts because Japan invaded Korea and China, but occupied that part of the world for so long that if you were a rich kid, they sent you to Tokyo for school, which is how my instructor's instructor, who studied with Gichin Funakoshi, the founder of Shotokan. That's how that starts, right? And then they come back, and then after a while, the war's over, the Koreans hate what happened in all the war atrocities, and yes, exactly. Then they say, you know, we made it up, but they didn't. They just took a bunch of different martial arts like we're doing right now. We have some Kung Fu style, we have some Japanese style, Kobudo, if you can find a great Kobudo school, or Budo school, Budo just means martial arts. It's like Mudo in Korean martial arts. Budo is in Japanese. All right, for Vic, recap. So we have high block, low block, the spinning blocks, and then we have those vertical strikes, and then you have punching just to the face, and then to the body. The only other thing we did today that was different are these spearing strikes, just like that. But these aren't that important. You don't see them as much. What becomes really fun is when we start. Yeah, Masoyama was a Korean. His daughter married, because I'm from Ohio, from Columbus. His daughter married a judo teacher, who was a former cop, I think, from Ohio State. And not his daughter, his niece. His niece lived in Columbus for a long time while I was there. So Masoyama used to come to Columbus. But that guy was Korean. He had to take a Japanese name, like so many of them did, because of discrimination. And then because he was Korean and he felt discriminated against, he felt like he had to beat physically. And those guys, I don't know if you've seen the Kyokushin guys, that makes my brain knuckle, my big knuckle there, makes it look like nothing. Because those guys kick the baseball bats and they smash each other. Brutal, right? But they don't punch the face, which I don't understand, but you know, it's Kyokushin. They have that 100-man kumite where they're just beating the snot. The guy's gotta fight 100 guys before he's done. I gotta be honest, I've never wanted to do that. I'd like to fight 100 guys, but not for like a belt. Anyway, I'm sure I'd lose after the first guy. So Vic, I think I got them all. 1, 2, got those, got these, down, and those are all in that basic form. I'm gonna finish with the form. Super slow-mo. From here, the hand comes up and bows, lift your stick. Put your hand palm facing out. Step out with the left and do the high block, punch 1. Oh, there's a bag there. Punch 1, 2. Bring the left foot in, step out with the right, high block, punch right, left. So from the beginning, from here, it comes up in, lift, turn, step with the left, high block with the left, punch right, bring the feet in. Your head goes first, but I'm just watching you. Step with the right, high block with the right, punch left. One more time, just from the beginning. Here's the bow. The stick has to come up so your hand is in the middle. If you grab the stick from here, it looks like that. So from here, the stick comes up, the hand's in the middle. Bend your knees, step, high block, left foot in, right foot up, high block, right foot in, step into a back stance, which means your feet make an L shape. My left foot's facing you, my right foot goes 90 degrees to the side. My hands turn, so the left hand's on the right shoulder. There's that first down block. Turn, weight, put all your weight on your left leg, block down with the right. So once again, from the very beginning, from here, comes up here, bend, high block, left foot in, right foot out, high block, right foot in, left foot back, block down, step, block down, and then it's a big turn. Your left foot comes in, your head turns all the way around. You step out with the left. And from here, low block. This is the most simple basic form in the world. But if you do it right, that's all you need. You need basics. Done really, really well. Left foot forward, low block, punch. My left foot's forward. My left hand goes first forward. 1, 2. Left foot in, turn, step with the right. Low block, right, left. And my right foot comes in. I'm going to the back now. Just repeating. Low block left, step. Low block right, left foot in. There's the big turn. I look to the left. And then from here, I'm going to strike. That horizontal strike, my feet come together. Horizontal strike. And then I do a little flourish, which eventually you'll make up your own. Comes here, and then watch. My hand comes up, changes position, push down, finish the bow. I'm gonna make a video just of that. I'll get that up as soon as I can. I'm gonna go back and get this thing back in place. I'll show you how to do that if you need it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Leave your comments below. Ask me that, send me the email real quick.